Little Rose, written by Panwadee, Ponglada K, Ittimakin. Episode 14. I can hardly believe that there is such a beautiful house in the middle of a coffee plantation. Jake exclaimed as Irie took him around the house, and they stopped to rest on the edge of the green lawn, bordered with many beautiful, colorful flowers. Believe me, Jake, the owner is really wealthy. In addition to the coffee plantation, he has many other enterprises in Rio. Oh, it's so good that you have come so we can go sightseeing in the city. What do you mean? You have been here 2 weeks already. Surely you have done a lot of sightseeing by now. Jake asked, looking surprised. Well, I had a little accident and sprained my leg. Haven't you noticed that I'm limping? But I have almost finished my assignment here. Then we can go back to Rio. Yes, I was going to ask you, what's the matter with your leg? I could see that you were limping. It's nothing. The car skidded, that's all. What? A traffic accident? And you said it was nothing? Were you hurt anywhere else, Irie? Don't get so upset. There's no need to get alarmed. I'm perfectly okay now, except for a small wound in my shoulder and my leg. Everything else is still in good shape, she said, smiling. You should have told me right away. I would have come immediately to take care of you. It is all over and done with, and don't you dare tell Cody, otherwise the topic will never end. If you don't want to tell him, that's fine, but I want you to promise that when you have finished your work here, we'll go back to Rio together. Okay, okie dokie. I teased him. Can I give you any help with your work so that it can be finished quickly? Well, I hesitated. Tell me what I can do to help. Jake insisted, his face reflecting his pleasure at having the chance to become close to the girl he had long set his heart on. I don't think you are accustomed to accounting, but you can just be a friend. I really miss speaking English. I've spoken mainly in Spanish ever since I arrived here. Oh, I thought you would miss me, Jake said with a look of disappointment. I miss you too, silly. I really thought it gratefully, forcing Jake to smile again. Let's go back inside. Vanessa will have prepared tea for us by now. Come on, then we can go into town. After we have finished working, okay? Yes, sir. Jake put his arm around her shoulder and they went back to the house together. A big business like this needs to have someone to modernize their accounting system. Otherwise, they will have constant headaches. Jake said, watching his friend inputting figures into the computer right there. That's true, but they don't have time. Ever since I arrived, the computer has just been sitting here, gathering dust. It is lucky that Sasa, who graduated in accounting from the UK, explained the business to me a little. From now on, she will be in charge of the plantation accounts instead of Ricardo. Ricardo can then manage other things. Her eyes were fixed on the computer screen all the time she spoke. Oh, and what about the person called Enrique? Isn't he in charge of the plantation? He has other business in Rio. that's suitable for him. He's a social animal. If he stayed on the plantation all the time, he would have no chance to flirt with the ladies. Ever since Jake had first met Irie, he had never known her to criticize anyone like this. He could not hide his surprise and wanted to meet this man. What had he done to make Irie dislike him? How do you know? Jake is asking. Has he flirted with you? Who would be interested in a pauper like me? But even if he had, I wouldn't be interested. He's not my type. I don't like playboys. Jake breathed more easily, as his fear that Irie's loneliness in a foreign country might have made her give her heart to someone else vanished. Finished, Irie announced triumphantly as she shut down the computer before switching off the monitor. We can go into town now. I will just tell Banita first, so she won't worry. I will wait at the car. Come when you are ready. Okay. There were traffic jams on the roads, with pollution trapped among the clusters of tall buildings. As the car approached the Viaduto do Chá Bridge, the Times Square of Brazil. Let's park the car and walk on the bridge, Iris suggested. Good idea. Even if we continue driving, we won't get very far in this traffic. Jake agreed, turning the steering wheel to park at the side of the road where the car would not block the traffic. The sight of the tall, fair man walking hand in hand across the bridge with an American girl with oriental features attracted the attention of many drivers. Look over there. See that building? It is called the Matarasso building, and it was built from white granite. The owner is an Italian. He's the richest man in Sao Paulo. How do you know that? Jake asked, hiding a smile. Well, Irene most blurted out that on the day she had first arrived in Sao Paulo, Enrique had pointed it out to her, but she stopped herself just in time. Instead, she teased her friend. Don't you know anything? You're staying in the city. Does your hotel have any tourist pamphlets? Yes, but I have not had a chance to look at them. I hurried to meet you as soon as I arrived. Oh, then it's all my fault. How terrible. Come on. I said to Jake, who didn't pursue the subject, but followed her. Ibiranga Road was at the heart of everything in Sao Paulo, with movie theaters, classy boutiques, souvenir shops, airline office, and bookshops. I took her friend shopping until they were tired. I went to sit in a restaurant on the top of the Edificio Italia building, sited on the most elevated spot in the city. This is a really classy restaurant, Jack commented. Paulistano's like quality. The mixture of Japanese and Italian heritage makes them work hard and play hard too, said Irene, repeating what Enrique had told her. It's odd. I can't believe that they could get along together. Just thinking of a Japanese speaking Portuguese makes me smile. And people would be even more shocked if an Italian could speak Japanese. That's not just a fantasy. It is common here. You are joking. No, seriously, it's true. Lots of people of both nationalities live here. Japanese form the biggest group, so it's not strange that Japanese can speak Italian and Italians can speak Japanese, with Portuguese as the official language. Okay, I give in. Let's order something to eat. I'm hungry. While they were waiting for the meal, I suddenly caught sight of a familiar face. Enrique was sitting eating with a beautiful Latin girl. Her hair cropped short in a modern style. They looked really close. If Monica saw them, what would she think? Irene powdered, wondering why she should feel so concerned instead of Monica. Your work here is finished, so let's go back to Rio together tomorrow. Do you agree, Irene? The scene had disturbed her calm, so she did not hear Jake's question. What did you say? I said that your work here is finished, so we should go back to Rio together for our sightseeing program. Okay. At first, Irene had thought that she would stay in Sao Paulo until she could report to Enrique the results of her work. But it seems that he's not really interested. Otherwise, wouldn't he have gone to the plantation villa instead of sitting here flirting? I really hate this kind of man, always, with a different woman. Irene grumbled into herself. Irene pulled her attention back to their own conversation again, but not for long, as Enrique was making his way across to their table. Who is this? You know him? Jack whispered softly to Irene, seeing an unknown man approaching them. It's my boss, replied Irene in the same low voice, before turning to look at Enrique again. He was dressed for business in grey silk trousers and matching jacket, with a long-sleeved white shirt fastened at the cuffs and a red tie. The wound in his arm, caused by the broken glass, could not yet have healed properly, as he walked with a slightly awkward gait, although that in no way detracted from his elegance and style. You are not fully recovered. Why did you rush out to town? Enrique asked in a voice that clearly betrayed his dissatisfaction. The eyes with which he had been staring at her injured shoulder moved across to the face of her fair-haired friend, and soon understood the situation. I have some important business to discuss with you. Wait for me at the villa this evening. Yes. Receiving a satisfactory answer, Enrique went back to his table without waiting for Irene to introduce her friend to him. What kind of person is that? No manners, Irene thought without voicing her opinions to Jake. You shouldn't have come to work for such a brute, Jake commented when Enrique was out of earshot. Is my brother had not already agreed to the idea, I wouldn't have done for sure. Get it? I've finished now. I'm free tomorrow. I don't need to have anything to do with him again. I'm afraid that won't be the case, Irene. Even though Jake had never met Enrique before, for some inexplicable reason, he felt he could not trust him, especially on matters concerning Irene, the girl to whom he had given his heart. You have been out all day, and it's still not enough. You have come back here and are still chatting. What time is it now? Enrique felt irritated on coming back to the villa and finding Irene sitting talking to Jake in the sitting room. Where are Ricardo and Salsa? Or have they already gone to bed? They will never get rich, sleeping early like this. Unable to do anything about Irene and Jake, he made scapegoats of his sister and mother-in-law. Ricardo had just got back from the plantation, really exhausted, so he asked to be excused. Salsa followed him. Irene hurried to explain, although she really had no need. The brother and sister would soon get over their disagreement, and it was nothing to do with Irene anyway. However, she had already spoken and could not call back her words. I have some business to discuss with you. Enrique's face showed that he had partially recovered from his bad mood. Although nothing had been said directly, Jake tacitly understood that it was his cue to politely leave the room. You have things to talk about, Irie. I will go now and see you tomorrow at the airport. Good night. He spoke to Irie first before turning to the owner of the house to take his leave. Although he did not like Enrique and did not trust him, he had been kind enough to arrange somewhere for him to stay after Irie had requested it. Good night, Enrique responded. When the sound of the car had faded away, Enrique walked over to the bar, and Irie saw him open a bottle of whiskey, pouring the topaz liquid into a thin clear glass selected from the back of the corner. Do you want anything to drink? He asked Irie civilly. No, thanks. I thought we had something to discuss. Irie continued to herself. If you have anything to say, say it then. It is finished and I can go to bed. Tomorrow I have to get up early and go to the airport to catch a plane back to Rio. I guess I won't meet you again after this. She could hardly conceal her shock when she realized that she might indeed never again see the strong features of the man taking a seat opposite her. He was relaxed and friendly. Your injuries are still not really better, so why are you hurrying to leave? Or has your lover persuaded you to go? His thick eyebrows contracted to meet in the middle as his all-knowing eyes stared at Irie, considering her until Irie felt oppressed, pretending that she did not care. She felt interest in her shoulder ever since she had had the operation to remove the bullet. The doctor had made home visits to clean and dress her wound, so it was now nearly recovered, and in so short a time that even the doctor was surprised. The job is finished as you instruct. I have no reason to stay here any longer. What job? I don't understand what you are talking about. How can you possibly understand when you are thinking about flirting? Irie thought in her heart, but did not dare to say aloud. The accounting for the plantation, the new system I have introduced, Irie said matter-of-factly. Sasa understands the system and has cried out on the computer. She is familiar with it now. Enrique picked up his glass and downed the contents in a single gulp. His face still had an odd expression, and he seemed not to believe that she had completed everything in the week he had been away, especially when she was still convalescing. How can that possibly be? He asked in amazement. I explained everything to Sasa and showed her how to use the new accounting program. Your sister helped me to complete everything quickly. She can type incredibly quickly. In just 2 days, all the figures were in the computer. Why did you lie to me? Sasa is skillful and learns quickly, unlike what you led me to believe. Irie made the most of a chance to attack him, thinking that he would explain. However, she was wrong, and he answered calmly and confidently. I have a reason that I will tell you in due course. Crazy. Why doesn't he tell me now? There's no use in keeping anything from me when I'm leaving tomorrow morning, thought Irie, saying aloud. Please cut the cost of the evening dress from the fee you will pay me. The matter of the evening dress that Enrique had bought for her to wear the evening that they went on the dinner cruise was still a question mark in Irie's mind. She had had no chance to send it back to him, so this way seemed the most suitable. She did not like handouts, especially from this man, accept it as a present. As for the fee, he stopped speaking. opening the document case which he had put on the table when he had entered the sitting room. Iris saw him take out a checkbook and write a figure before signing it and giving it to her. Is that enough or not enough? I can give you more, Enrique asked in a good mood with no hidden agenda, but the listener misunderstood, thinking that he thought she was a Varikis. Are you sure you haven't written the figure wrongly? $10,000, not Brazilian Cruzeiro Novo. It's far too much, more than my normal fee. I held out the checks drawn in the name of a big Manhattan bank in New York, but he refused to take it back. This is not enough when you consider your time, your knowledge, and your abilities, and the fact that you got the bullet that was meant for me. But there are to be no buts. You don't know how useful money is. Before long, the matter is finished. Now it is my turn to speak. Since the day I brought you here, I have been occupied with troubling matters in Sao Paulo. When you met me in the restaurant this afternoon, it was nothing. Simone and I had business to attend to before I go back to do business in Rio. I felt that he wanted to tell her something, but he had apparently changed his mind as what he was speaking out and what he was speaking about now had no connection with her at all, directly or indirectly. The matter of him dining with the beautiful Latina woman was none of her concern. Thinking logically, there was no reason for him to explain himself to her, but she could not help feeling a little happy that he saw her important for whatever the reason. Then another thought pushed itself into her mind. Why does he tell me why he had to hurry back to meet Monica in Rio? That must have been something important. Oh, I'm crazy. That has nothing to do with me either. Why do I think and feel like this? Stop thinking in this crazy way, Irie. Irie rebuffed herself. I don't know why I have to tell her about this. Enrique thought, understanding neither himself nor why he had to be so concerned about Irie's feelings. Am I afraid that she will misunderstand, seeing me dying with another woman? This is my private affair, nothing to do with work. Enrique had never felt like this before and tried to return to normal, saying, You must be tired. You have been busy all day. It's late and you should rest. I followed his advice and had almost left the room when she heard him calling after her. We'll meet again in Rio. I gave no promise and said nothing, thinking inwardly, that day will never come for sure. She walked out of the room without turning back to look at him, unaware that, as he gazed after her retreating figure, his eyes were brimming with love and pride.